Which is interesting, man, because a lot of people do that where they go, there's this mentality of someday when the business is up and where it needs to be in that regard, then I can go do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of touting a little bit different message. It's like, no, let's figure out what you want now. And let's also design the business in a way that allows you to do that now, not waiting until 20 or 30 years from now. And Ron, to your point, so many people think that that's the way to go. And that when the business is successful, then I'll have the more time. But in your case, you did build something rather large, and through, maybe there's some fault of your own, but I was going to say through no fault of your own, things didn't go as planned. And the partnership ended up breaking up. And so now you've sacrificed all of that for what? It's like
nothing.
For nothing.
For nothing.
And now you're
that was the real kick
over.
in the gut, Shaun, is that I woke up the day after all of that happened. Well, that's not true. We fought for 8 months. I woke up the day after 8 months after fighting for 8 months and paying attorneys. And I was like, I just literally lost 7 years of my life. Yeah. It is gone. I will never get it back. And it literally was for negative. I had to pay, right? And so financially, that's what everybody thinks. It's this if-then statements, and if-then statements never work out. And I remember, I tell people all the time, I remember in my life when I first married, and I thought, man, if I could just make $50,000 a year, I could do this or that or whatever, right? And I remember when I hit 50, nothing changed except for the number. I was like, man, now if I could just hit 6 figures, everything's going to change. And I can tell you, it doesn't matter if the number's $500,000, if the number's $1 million, it doesn't make any difference, because if you launch out and the only if-then statement is, if I have more money, then this is going to happen for me, I promise you the only thing that's going to change is the number.
So I've two perspective potential people listening right now. There's probably that new person that's like looking to start their business, right? And they hear what you were saying, right? Grind it out, you working 100 hours a week kind of thing. And my question is, so they can jump into this new business of real estate investing with the vision up front and not actually experience potentially these heartache or these rough times we've been through, right? But then the second person I would say is, someone that's in the business, they're making money and they're like, no way, I gotta be here. If I want it done right, I got to do it myself attitudes, right? So it's like,
right.
Can you both speak to each one of them?
Yeah, happy to, because I've been both of those people, and I've been both of those people twice now. So actually probably 3 or 4 times if we're all being honest. But I started with I was the guy who went to the seminar, who learned how to do this. And I put the seminar on a credit card that wasn't even mine, because I didn't have one that had the money on it. That's who that's who you're looking at right now. And to make matters worse, when I turned in my first deal to the company that was supposed to like pay for, do the investment, and I did the work, they denied my first deal. And then I went and did it on my own and never looked back. So in the beginning of a business startup, you have to work hard. There's no anybody who tells you you don't have to work hard is lying to you. You do have to work hard. But I wish that I had known about the personal vision piece and the business vision piece first, because what would have happened is I wouldn't have made the same mistakes that I didn't even realize were mistakes when I built the business the first time. Because part of the challenge that my business partner and I were having is that I was doing all of the work. I was the guy traveling, and I was exhausted. And I was exhausted because I just thought you just did what you had to do, because that's how I started in business, and that's how I ended that business. But there's a season. If you do it right, there's a season, and it should be a short-ish season where you have to work really hard. But if you don't have a vision of what you want your life to look like, then the only thing you think about is business, then it will eat your life. That is what will happen. I've seen it happen to thousands of people. And it happened to me. And the only reason that it changed is because I got clarity on how I want my life to work. Once the clarity happens, it's amazing how quickly you can transform a business to support the life that you want to live. But if you don't have it, if there's no clarity, then the business just takes on a life of its own and it owns you. And that's what happened to me. And that's what happens to thousands of people that I know.